Welcome to BCB Live. Yes, we are that safest station in the nation.
Hey, everybody, good morning to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave here on a Monday morning, coming at you live from the studios in downtown Mansfield. I'm sitting behind the news desk today because we got a great interview today. Give me an opportunity to sit down, relax, and not get too overexcited there in the main studio. Actually, in the main studio, we're getting some work done. So we're actually back over to studio. Is this B or A? I can't even remember. Well, anyway, I'm in one of them. But whatever the case is, I will tell you what's going on a little bit. We have a great interview, talking a little bit about that border crossing here in just a second. But before we get to that, I wanted to report a little bit on what transpired over in Colorado Springs yesterday. If you can look at that, this is crazy. There was a massive train derailment of coal out a bridge collapsed. And it's still all under investigation. They don't really know quite all of the details, but this train derailed and spilled cars and coal all over the road. And unfortunately, a tractor trailer driver underneath was killed during this incident. So I just wanted to let everybody know what was going on over there on I-25. And it looks a little bit crazy. This morning, you can see the kind of devastation that transpired yesterday. It's going to take a minute to get all this cleaned up. Also, the investigation. We'll keep you updated on why exactly what caused this train derailment as we move forward. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk to Alexis Reza really quick on some very important information coming to us about what's going on the border with Mexico. So we'll be back in just a second, right after this on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
I want to thank you for being on BCB Live. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Andy. Have a good one, buddy. Thank you for joining BCB Live.
I want to thank each and everyone. Hey, thank you for taking time to join BCB Live.
I want to thank you for coming on and shedding light.
Thank you so much. Loved having you on here. Woo! Great job, Clara. Thank you so much for joining us.
All right, and we are back here on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. I have joining with me today is Alexis Reza he's Director of Operations at Border Trucking Compliance in El Paso. Did I get that right, Alexis?
Yes, sir, Mr. David, you sure did.
All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit, first of all, before we get started, what it is you do over there at Border Trucking Compliance?
So we are a safety compliance firm. We've been open since '97. My mom actually started the company, and we provide compliance, safety, insurance services to companies both on the U.S. side and on companies coming in from Mexico into the U.S., whether that be just cross-border or whether they be coming in from Mexico into the interior of the U.S.
Do you help with permits coming across? Is that kind of how you help? Kind of a full range of things to go and allowing the cross-docking procedures to go along there and allowing freight to move to and fro from Mexico and also the United States.
Yes, sir, that is correct. We're concerned more on the U.S. side. We don't really deal with the Mexican part of the operation. But we do safety compliance, we do audits, we do permits, we do insurance, we do drug testing, we do everything to make sure that these companies are safe and compliant.
All right, man. When you keep saying the word safe, and you're getting my thumbs up on both sides, because that's what we do here. That's what we talk about over here at BCB. But let's talk a little bit about, because I know you're right in the middle of it, and one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it we've been seeing in the news a lot lately about the backlog of trucks crossing from Mexico into the United States. Can you kind of give us a brief summary of why that is and what kind of impact that's having right there on the border?
Yes. So Governor Abbott gave an order where he wanted DPS to be more involved on the checking of vehicles coming in from tractor trucks coming in from Mexico into the U.S. It has really affected the El Paso area. There's four actual crossing stations that trucks can use, which is one in Tornillo, Texas, two in El Paso, Texas, and then one in Santa Teresa, New Mexico. And the issue is, so basically before, 4,000 trucks a day were crossing. Now we're down to, there's estimates between 1,200 and 1,800 that are coming through. So, when you would be able to do when a company was able to do 2 to 3 crossings a day, now they're being able to do one every 24 to 36 hours. I know people were forming since yesterday. Drivers were forming since yesterday. So that's really the main issue. Basically, they'll do 5 trucks. They'll inspect 5 trucks at a time. So the 5 trucks will cross. They'll get what is known as el cono de la suerte here in the border, which is the cone of good luck. It's an orange cone. It's your turn. They're going to do a shift change, and they put the cone on there. The wait for DPS, for CBP, for the Texas State Troopers to check those 5 trucks is anywhere between 35 to 45 minutes. Then they let another 5 trucks through. So that's where this bottlenecking issue is coming. The Tornillo port of entry opened up a couple months ago. Companies started going that way. The first day they crossed fine. The second day there was 20 troopers, and they started doing the exact same thing.
Look, there's a lot going on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is political. You would agree, and then trying to make a point, right? Trying to secure the borders and trying to make all this. But what really, I think what we're going to talk about mainly is its impact to the commerce and the trade through across the border. And I think no one suffers more greatly than the drivers that are driving the trucks at the waits and waiting. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Alexis, I personally, I'm horrible at waiting. I would rather take a beating than wait, because that's what it is to me. And I can understand truly. And this is revenue for all of us, right? This is revenue on both sides of the border. It's affecting revenue. How are some of the people coming to you asking, is there any way to go? I mean, any better way to do this?
Yes. So, and you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right that, we have to understand that this affects, not really the owners of the bigger trucking companies. Not only, it doesn't affect them as much as it affects people. These drivers are waiting 18 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, sometimes 48 hours. And you're sitting in a truck. And I agree with you. I hate waiting. I think, I will walk the border because I will not be in a vehicle for not moving for more than an hour because I go crazy. So, and it does hurt commerce on both sides, because at the end of the day, if you're a production company here in the States, you got your material is stuck on the border. So what are you going to do? You're going to fly you're going to get a jet to fly the material you need to your production line. That's going to cost you $120,000. And then that affects the investments, that affects, overtime pay, that affects bottom line. It's a domino effect all the way through. And these drivers, man, kudos to them. I could not do it. And they are really holding the line out there. This is a wait. My wife has a trucking company, and one of her drivers did 36 hours the day after. He did almost 48 hours. And he was just waiting there. And there's no restroom. There's people out there giving food and stuff, but you have to give it to them. And on the safety side, you also have a lot of cranky drivers that are really upset. They've been waiting forever. And, so they're not going to be, they just want to get to their destination. And they've also been in a truck, and, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to try to say, and I agree with the safe border, because there's been horrible things that have happened in El Paso with these migrants. And I think both countries, or both sides at least, are very frustrated with this migrant issue. And we do want a safe border, but we just need to do a better way of doing it. And I don't think that holding these drivers 24, 36 hours is the way to do it.
Yeah, look, I get we have an issue at the border. Okay,
Yes.
There's no doubt. And I truly believe that the governor's using commerce to bring attention to the issue, and he's strangling commerce to get it. But at the same time, I don't think we need to choke out the one revenue that's going to help solve the problem. And I get, look, we've got all kinds. We could sit here and argue back and forth all day about the politics of it. Is this process by any stretch of the imagination? Is it making it safer to cross by doing this with the? I mean, are we solving a problem? Are we just creating a flag to show, hey, there is one?
I think we're creating a flag to show one. There hasn't been any evidence that there's been anybody, smuggled in these trucks, that this process has stopped any sort of, fentanyl being a big issue. Most of the issues that happen with these migrants, where they get caught in trucks, in trucks and trailers, and the Texas Hold'em program is great. But where it's when they're past the border. They're not, it's not like they're getting smuggled in through these tractor trucks. The drug issue, the fentanyl issue, has been more on the people walking it over or driving it over. It hasn't been in these tractor trucks. So I think it's more of a flag than it really is hey, we're really making the border safer at this point. I think it's more, there's an issue, federal government, get to work, we need help, but you're putting a stranglehold on a big part of commerce. And you're putting a stranglehold, and you're putting a lot of strain on people, on these drivers, and not just the drivers. You have to think about mechanics assistants, janitorial people that are getting hours cut, that are not, warehouse people that are getting these hours cut because there's not enough movement going on. Then you have, here drivers or companies here in El Paso, that don't have materials, so they can't leave El Paso. So then they got 10 trucks, they got 5 sitting, and so it's a flag. It is not, I don't think it's done anything to keep anything safer. It's a flag to say, hey, we need an issue. We need to fix this. Let's get on.
I understand that. It frustrates me to no end to know that really I'm concerned more with if a driver waits 13, 14 hours to move into the border, I don't know how that driver is going to be safer on the road once they get crossed. I truly concerns me genuinely about the driver itself, because I'm focused on what's going on with the driver and the importance of making sure that we support them and helping to create a safer truck, a safer environment with them on the road. I want to do whatever we can to do that. I was reading about a program that they were going to create, which is a new system which they can scan trucks with using a checkpoint. I mean, a tag system that they can do. Do you know what I'm talking about? They've got that in the works. Is that something is that happening soon, or is that something that they're working on still?
I think they're still working on that, and I think it's going to hit the Laredo Valley area before it hits El Paso anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm curious to see when that helps. Anything to expedite and make it a little bit safer. Those things are amazing. I was reading it could scan the entire truck.
Yes.
As it rolls through, and pretty much check it out within just seconds, and the truck can continue on. That'd be a great thing the dollars need to be invested in something like that to help save this issue right here. I truly believe we need to do that. And let me ask you another quick question. If anybody's out there looking to get through and to do this, to get in contact with you, how do they get a hold of you and your company, Mr. Reza?
So, they can give us a call. or they can shoot an email. They can look us up on the internet. It's btcgroupep.com. And we'd be more than happy to help out. One of the things that I do want to push in this area, in this El Paso area, is joining organizations such as TXTA, because they help. The more people there are, the powerful your voice is. So we're really trying to I was really excited when I got this call, because I really want to push that on these El Paso companies. And again, it was a great opportunity, and I thank you very much for allowing me to be here.
Absolutely. We support the TXTA. We support any of these organizations, any of these trade companies, any of these trade organizations that help our industry, because what it does is it allows us to get involved and to help work out some of these issues, and it creates a stronger voice in Congress, right? When we get together as a team and our vote power comes together, because people don't realize exactly how much our voice matters when we come together with these TXTA, when we come together with the ATA, we come together in these groups and these organizations, we create a pretty formidable force when we get there into Austin and also into Washington, right? I mean, that's ultimately where the big power lies. And I truly believe, and that's how we reached out to you. But I want to also say, we have to stay involved. We have to get in. We have to make the call, get involved, and to help solve some of these solutions. Because I guarantee you, he's not going to continue. I mean, we're not going to continue to have these problems if all of our constituents join together and say, hey, we need to fix this.
Yes, sir. I agree 1,000%.
All right, man. I tell you what, before you get out of here, I'm going to ask you a favor. I want you to state your name, who you're with, and that you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Can you do that for me?
You got it, sir. My name is Alexis Reza, Director of Operations of Border Trucking Compliance out here in El Paso, Texas. And you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Alexis. Appreciate you coming in today.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Hey, everybody. We're going to go ahead and join our regular programming right after this. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow here on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Bye, everybody.